What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Game Week FC. What you're looking at right here, Game Week 14. My points this past week. We had midweek matches this week, and the results were pretty interesting. You either had a really low scoring game, and your guy got a clean sheet, or you had a freaking 5-4 game, 9 goals, and your guy got a lot of goals, assist points. My team got 60 points, slightly above average. I made a really good decision a couple weeks ago to add Daniel Munoz to my team, and he has gotten me 29 points. Actually, I don't remember when I added them, but he's gotten me about 30-ish points since I added them. Good timing. Other defenders are kind of bad. Gordio I thought was going to do better. But yeah, decent week. Kept the captain on Holland. He finally got back into some goal scoring form. I might triple captain him against Sunderland on Saturday. Really thinking about that and thinking about. I've got about 27 days until I got to use up all my special things. I don't even know what they called. Boosts and stuff. Might do a wild card this week. That's why I might do. Or a free hit. Really want to get some Newcastle players in this week. Team of the week. No, not team of the week. Highest points, 138. That's insane. Holland, yep. Let's see, what did he do? Bench boost. He had Holland, Foden, Marino. Wow. Yeah, that's tough to beat right there. That's a good bench boost. That's a good team, too. He's really smart for bringing in Marino. Team of the week, 147. Wait, what was the guy's name? What was the last guy? Oh, yeah, congrats, Forrest Gump. Well done. I like that team name. Team of the week, guys, Romero was one of my differentials this past week. Actually, Marino and Romero, sorry. Both of those guys were differentials for me this past week. And Crystal Palace defense, if you don't have them, you should have them. And yeah, that's a really good squad right there. Moving on to what everyone's here for. My differential team for this weekend. Literally, this is such a tricky week for FPL because there's a lot of rotation. There's 3 games in 1 week. And it's just, you don't know who's going to rotate, who's going to do what. So it's tough to predict, but we're doing our best. And starting out with keepers, we have Sin Lemons playing against West Ham United, Wolves away. So they play West Ham today. It's Monday. Waiting to see what happens in that game. But Lamons will be starting for Manchester United again against Wolves, and that's a potential clean sheet. Might even make some saves in that game, depending on how desperate Wolves are. But yeah, should be a clean sheet. Wolves are shambolic. This is probably my favorite differential keeper for the weekend, Aaron Ramsdale. So Newcastle's starting keeper is hurt. Don't ask me what his name is. I totally blanked on it. Newcastle's starting keeper's hurt. Ramsdale's the backup. 0.7% owned. And Newcastle have shut out Burnley the past few times they've played him. So I really, really like Newcastle defense this weekend. That's why I'm moving on and loading up on 2 Newcastle defenders. Livramento is back. He was gone for a while due to injury. Now he's got 390 minutes under his belt, playing a big game at home. Newcastle aren't going to lose 2 straight. They're not going to tie either. I genuinely believe Newcastle's going to win this, and I think they're going to get a clean sheet. Malik Tia, he had a huge game against Everton. had 2 goals. Now he kind of, went back down against Tottenham. However, I don't see. I feel like this has to be a clean sheet for Burnley. So that's what I'm banking on. That's why I got 3 Newcastle players in this squad, Newcastle defenders. Next up, we got another Crystal Palace player. Crystal Palace have actually played, they've done really well against Fulham in the past. I think the last 2 times they've played, Crystal Palace have actually won 2-0. And that's a clean sheet. So I could totally see it. Crystal Palace seemed like a boogie team for Fulham. I know Fulham are pretty strong at home, and it's going to be tough. They're coming off a loss to Manchester City, so they should bounce back, Fulham. But Crystal Palace are a tricky team to play against, and I'm throwing Richards in there, only 4.1% owned, because I think there is clean sheet potential. Next up, we got Matthijs de Ligt. Going to be playing at Wolves. Still waiting for the West Ham game to end, but once again, clean sheet potential, defensive contribution potential, maybe even score a goal potential. I really like him at 3.8% owned. Now we got the star from this past week, Christian Romero. I'm taking him not because I think he's going to score 2 goals again. That's not going to happen. I'm taking him because he has clean sheet potential in this game. I mean, Tottenham have been shambolic at home the past few times they've played there. And I just think they're going to do everything in their power to, focus on being defensive and not getting goals scored on them. Romero really helps his defense out. He's a leader on this team. So I think he's going to get defensive contribution points. I don't know if the clean sheet is going to happen, but it's possible. So I'm throwing him back in there because he's got high confidence right now. Form's good. And I think he's going to do everything he can to help Thomas Frank beat his old club. Next up, we got Phil Foden. I still consider him a differential at 12.7% owned. That number is going to skyrocket most likely because he has 32 points in the past 2 games, which is unreal. But, it took Phil Foden quite a while to, pick up form. I mean, he was pretty slow. He had a great game against Man United, but he was pretty average up until game week 13. And he's finally kicking into form, and City are scoring goals like crazy. So that's why I'm picking him here. Playing Sunderland at home, I think City are going to... I'm pretty confident in a City win, to be honest. I know Sunderland's good, but City just seem like the team that can pick them apart for some reason. Matthias Cunha, I've just heard news that Cunha is starting for Manchester United against West Ham. That is good news. However, there's also bad news there. Because he's starting, if he plays, I doubt he's going to play a full 90 minutes, but if he plays quite a bit, then they could consider, resting him again because they don't want to overdo it with him against Wolves. But I do think he finds the field at some point against Wolves. Playing against his former club, he's going to want to prove himself. And I wouldn't be surprised if Manchester United try to get him a goal or something. So I like him. His ownership has dropped 3.6%. Could be a good time to buy him back. Next up, we got Chukwueze. This is really interesting. I thought about him as a differential for this past game against City. And he ended up popping off. He comes on a substitute at halftime, scores 2 goals. And I looked at his stats and I could see, that the contribution that he was having, despite the low minutes. You see here, game week 12, assist. He just kind of, was slowly getting better. And I think Fulham have to start this guy against Crystal Palace. He didn't play the full game against City. He played half, scored 2 goals. You have to start him. You have to. He deserves to be starting against Crystal Palace, and I think that's exactly what they'll do. I don't know if he's actually going to get points against Palace. He could drop off, but it's worth the risk at 0.2% owned. Definitely worth the risk, and worth the fixtures that he has coming up. Burnley, Forest. It's great fixtures. Next up, we got one of the most reliable guys, honestly, in the league, I think. He gets good minutes. He hasn't scored lower than 2 points in every single game this season. He probably averages like 3.5 points a game. He's just consistent. He gets defensive contribution points. He's involved. He's got goal involvements. He's just a very consistent guy for Crystal Palace, and he's not recognized enough by people. And yeah, Kamada I think he's a very good player, and I think he could get something against Fulham. He could be a surprise goal scorer, a surprise assister. I like him at only 0.2% owned. I've been tempted to bring him into the squad in the past few weeks because he consistently gets points. Next up, we got Viper. He was in my I don't know how to say his name. He was in my last team, differential squad, in the last game. And was he in my... I don't remember if I had him for Villa or if I had him for Forest. But look at that. 7 points, 4 points, 4 points, 3 points, 10 points, 4 points, 7 points. I mean, this guy, he has absolutely come out of nowhere. And, well, he hasn't come out of nowhere, but he is, just like Kamada, he is very consistent. And this guy's actually getting, more bang for your buck. He's getting more... he's getting assists. He's getting contribution points. And he's just 0.4% owned. Not enough people know about this guy. He's a midfielder, but he was playing right back against Villa this past game. He's just a dangerous player, honestly. So I like him in there. Great differential. Next up, we got the man in form. He finally scores. I mean, he's only scored, before the last game, he only had 1 goal in the season. And then he gets 2 against Brighton. 6.6% owned. His ownership has dropped tremendously. Now is a good time to buy back on him because I think he's starting to get back in form and he's finding the back of the net like he did against Brighton. He looked very confident. I watched a little bit of the game. He looked very confident. So, good time to buy back on Ollie Watkins. Even though he's playing at Arsenal at home, I think he could find the back of the net. I think Villa are going to score a goal against Arsenal. I really do. And I believe in Ollie Watkins. I really do. Next up, we got Jared Bowen. He's been kind of sleepy the past few weeks. He hasn't scored a goal in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7 or 8 games. He hasn't scored a goal. It's going to happen soon. Brighton just gave up 4 goals to Villa. West Ham should be able to get something, at least a goal in this game. Bowen's the main man. He leads them in just about every single progressive stat. And I think he's going to get a goal at some point because he is the main man at West Ham. It's going to happen. I'm just hoping it's this week. And he's 5.7% owned. Value. Next up, we got Evan Nielsen. I picked him this past week as a differential. He did not do anything. In fact, he only played 29 minutes. It's a bit upsetting, but that's actually encouraging for this upcoming game against Chelsea. He should be well rested, and he should be ready to go. 1.5% owned against Chelsea, who we have seen are very inconsistent are not very inconsistent, but they went from tying Arsenal with 10 men to losing, getting smacked by Leeds United 3-1 yesterday. So I think the Cherries just came off a game where they got clean sheeted by Everton at home. Bournemouth need to lock in at home, okay? They haven't won, well, they haven't, well, honestly, their form has been pretty bad lately. Loss, loss, draw, loss, loss. They need to get back into form, and they have to score a goal in this game, or else Bournemouth fans are going to be pissed. So I'm taking Evan Nielsen here. Underrated player. He's just like Bone, he's gonna come through at some point. There's gonna be a game where he gets like a hat trick, like out of the blue, and people are gonna be like, "Dang, I forgot about this guy." Evan Nielsen's. I'm counting on him again to deliver because I do think he's a very quality player. So, all right, that's all I got in this video. Hope you guys liked it. It's been back to back this week because fixers are just coming like crazy. So it's been tough to really find the right differentials, and you never know who's going to play and who's going to get rotated. So stay up to date on the news, on team news, if you're thinking about picking any of these guys. And just enjoy the week, guys. Back-to-back fixtures is any fan's dream. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Those are my differentials. And our best bets video will be coming out today or tomorrow. Got to make that video as well. So appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe to the video, and we shall see you guys next video. Adios.